Despite the PC-esque architecture powering the Dreamcast, and several games receiving ports from home computers to the console, the point-and-click adventure would be almost non-existent on the system. For European owners, Stupid Invaders would be the sole representation of the genre. Itself an oddity based on a late 90s French cartoon, the show's animation studio Xylem would opt to develop the game directly, with Ubisoft publishing. It makes this one sound very interesting, but to be honest, it's a pretty straightforward adventure, albeit one that has a distinctive aesthetic and voice work. Following the misadventures of a quintet of aliens who crash land on Earth, Stupid Invaders serves as a continuation of Space Goofs, but with a cruder edge. As the crew attempt to return home while hiding in a human house, a Dr. Sakarian sends a hitman to capture and bring them to Area 52. This is a very weird story, with several sequences that border on hallucinogenic, while a mild opening of exploring the house to free the rest of your frozen companions isn't too crazy. Once you start interplanetary exploration, things go strange. From a giant bunny man with his buttocks showing, to the exploration of a plant powered by cow dung, sometimes seeing is believing. This style of narrative certainly won't appeal to everyone, but the bombastic personalities and rapid-fire humour is bound to stick with someone. If it doesn't appeal, this one proves an easy skip, as the game is highly story-driven.
This website, www.nakedcandy.com, is gonna make me very rich.
Despite the aforementioned oddness, you can't deny Stupid Invaders looks the part. Utilising pre-rendered backgrounds, they translate beautifully to the Dreamcast, with little compression across the game's 2 discs. There's a slew of memorable scenes, from the radiated sewer systems to the off-kilter house you start in. Plentiful FMVs look excellent, the main cast looks charming despite the jump to 3D, and animations during both cutscenes and gameplay are great. The sound delivers too, with a special mention to the voice cast, which includes the team behind the animated series, both reprising their roles and voicing other characters new to the game. They do a splendid job. The sound effects are crisp and appropriately exaggerated, while the music proves interesting, sometimes opting for a more traditional sci-fi tone or, on rare occasions, tense accompaniments befitting a survival horror. But how is Stupid Invaders on the gameplay front? A very traditional point and click, not unlike the Sierra and LucasArts classics. It's a pretty basic imitation. You don't have direct control over each character, rather you guide them by clicking in a direction you want to go or highlighting key items and objects you can view. While each of the main crew are playable, they function identically as you swap between key story points. The puzzles range in quality, some of which proving inventive, while others sitting in the oddball logic this genre sometimes occupies. While not as devious as some, the long-distance treks required can be tiring, especially in the opening, where you're forced to explore a multi-story house while key items are hidden in subtle drawers that can be easily missed. The controls sometimes buckle in this regard, as though the pointer is adjusted slightly for the DC controller, it feels oversensitive and can see you scrolling right past key interactions. The other key component, one which can be viewed as a pro or a con depending on your tolerance, is dying. Xylem would craft a slew of game over FMVs throughout the course of the game, which more often than not will stir a chuckle. Whether it's being frozen in a block, fried to death, blasted with automated turrets in a scatological museum, or being mauled by a guard dog, these probably take up the substantial space across the two discs. But there's a bit of a caveat with these, as sometimes there's no warning that you'll trigger a death. Sometimes just entering a room will end your run, which can be trying for those wanting to see more of the story. And when some puzzles require a bit of brute force clicking to solve, you'll trip into one of these deaths with ease. While a manual save system lets you back up your play any time, forgetting to do so and tripping into a death scene will see your enjoyment turn to frustration. In the end, the Dreamcast's sole point-and-click adventure proves a decent, if straightforward affair. Stupid Invaders is the kind of game that could draw enjoyment or irritation out of you, with such wild humour that could offend or cause belly laughs depending on your tolerance. The presentation is ace, and the game translates well to the Dreamcast. But if you have a low temperance for long-winded puzzles and bodacious humour, you'll likely grow tired of this one before escaping the house. However, if the above sounds like your niche, then Xylem's effort may prove worth seeking out.